Channel 3. How are you? Are y'all? Hey, Townsend, how are you? Good to see you. Are you all going to be point?
We're going to be point. Chief Laney's going to do a press conference in a little bit. I just don't know when yet. We're still trying to get all our facts together for the press conference.
Okay.
We'll do it here.
Okay. It's not lieutenant anymore?
It depends on what day I wake up from bed, but right now it's major.
Major?
Call it Major Payne. Major Payne.
So we should be hearing something
Yeah,
from
we
you all
should be doing
shortly.
something here shortly.
Okay. Thank you.
Department. You see a lot of firefighters there, and again the ambulance, one left, we saw another one coming. We're trying to gather as much information as possible, but all of this again happening shortly before 1 o'clock this afternoon. Now, we did hear word that some of the surrounding businesses have been put on lockdown. People were told to just stay inside because they were trying to figure out what the situation was. A helicopter was seen flying over the Kroger just a few moments ago. We don't know if that was the police department's helicopter or if they were bringing in a helicopter to help with some of the victims. Again, we don't know how many people. There may be multiple victims in this. We're not sure yet. We're getting that information. And we are also getting the information hopefully soon about what happened and who this person is. But it was described as an active shooter inside the Kroger store. Again, this is in Collierville, New Byhalia Road and Poplar Avenue. As you can see, people standing around trying to get information, as we are, to bring this to you. But this is not something that you expect to see or to hear about in the middle of the afternoon in the suburbs in Collierville, where somebody went in, something happened, gunfire was, there was gunfire inside the store. So the person, whoever this is, did fire guns inside the Kroger in Collierville. We have made attempts to speak with the public information officer at Kroger. As you can imagine, she's probably very busy right now. We're also reaching out to the public information officer in Collierville with the Collierville Police Department. They did take the time to tell us and confirm with us that an active shooter was inside the store. Again, shortly before 1 o'clock, you can see the officers there. Hopefully they will be giving us some information and maybe coming over and talking to some of our reporters and photographers as we gather more information about all of this happening. And if you are familiar with this area, this is the Kroger right there at New Byhalia Road and Poplar Avenue, a very busy intersection, a very busy Kroger store in Collierville. And you can see there are some of the flashing lights and some of the rescue vehicles and all of that. Again, we did see a helicopter that was up in the air just a few moments ago, and that helicopter was hovering above the Kroger store. They have all of this roped off. So if you're in this area, you know somebody in this area, it's probably just a good idea to stay put. They're probably not letting anybody into this area as they try to figure out exactly what happened, if it was one person, if it was multiple people, also how many people were injured, what caused this, what set this off on this afternoon, on Thursday afternoon in the Kroger store. And we are just trying to figure out exactly why this happened and what propelled this to happen. As you can see, the officers there, these Collierville Police Department, Shelby County Sheriff's Department as well, all on the scene. We do have 2 reporters that are there. Luke Jones is on his way. He should be getting there pretty soon. We also have someone on standby at Regional 1 because that is likely the place that some of these victims may be taken. We don't know the extent of their injuries, but that is the usual place that the victims in scenes like this are taken down to Regional 1. You may be able to see that was Zanetta Lowe. She was in the area and she has been capturing pictures as well. You see two people there embracing. I guess this has to be traumatic, something you don't expect to see inside a Kroger store, in any Kroger store, in the middle of the afternoon. These people, we don't know, maybe they have been inside, they know some people inside, but we do know that there are probably multiple injuries. We don't know the extent of those injuries or how many people were injured, but an active shooter just shortly before 1 o'clock inside the Kroger store. And this is exactly, if you're trying to kind of get your bearings on where we're talking about, this is West Poplar Avenue and New Byhalia Road, right in the center of Collierville there. And this is where all of this happened before 1 o'clock this afternoon. And again, we hear that people may have been transported to Regional 1 for treatment. Not sure what the extent of their injuries may be, gunshot wounds, or how many of those people there are. But you can probably imagine that this is going to take a while to figure it all out. All of this happening in the middle of the afternoon when people are shopping, probably a good bit of people inside the store. Don't know what the intentions were of this shooter, and if he was after a particular person, he or she, if they were after a particular person, or if this was just random. So police, that's their job, to figure all of this out, to get the scene calm and figure out what was going on, and also making sure that that shooter is in custody. But from the way things are going now and people are moving around, we can only assume that he is in custody, he or she is in custody, and we don't know whether he or she, the shooter, is alive at this point. So we are gathering that information as well. But again, all of this, shortly before 1 o'clock, we began getting information into our newsroom that something was going on at the Kroger store at New Byhalia Road and Poplar Avenue. And we began getting reports, and we did get a report from the public information officer for the city of Collierville confirming, yes, there was an active shooter. No one has confirmed what happened to that active shooter, and the extent of his injuries, his or her injuries, and whether they are still alive. No one has confirmed how many people were injured in the store. And if those were employees, if those were customers, what have you, we hope to get that type of information. We don't know if this was something related to the shooter and the Kroger store itself. Now what you're seeing here, this is the med, as we said. This is usually where patients are taken in a situation like this. They're brought to the Regional 1, formerly the med, and you can see them coming into the ambulance bay there, the emergency bay. And we're told that we saw at least one ambulance leave, and we are assuming that this may be one of the ambulances that is coming from Collierville, from the scene of the Kroger store. And we did see some other ambulances there on the scene, so we're not sure exactly how many people were injured, but we have seen several ambulances there on the scene. We did see one take somebody away, so we know that one person was taken away by ambulance. And we can't say whether that is an indication that there are more injuries inside, and more ambulances may be leaving. They may be tending to people on the inside as well. But this is the middle of the afternoon in Collierville at New Byhalia Road and Poplar Avenue, the Kroger store there. Active shooter shortly before 1 o'clock. Gunshots rang out inside that Kroger store. And like we said, we don't know how many people were in there and the extent of the injuries, those who may have been hit by the gunfire, and the extent of their injuries. We are gathering that information. Luke Jones will be joining us shortly, Stacy Jacobson there as well. There we have Zanetta Lowe. She was in the area as well, taking pictures, and had some pictures of the emergency crews that were coming in, the ambulance as it was leaving, as well as some of the surrounding area. So if you are familiar with this area, you can see here on the map, New Byhalia Road and Poplar Avenue. You know it's a very busy area, a lot of stores, a lot of businesses in that area. We had heard from some businesses in the area that they put their employees on lockdown because they did not know what the situation was, and just asking people to stay put with the active shooter that was on the scene. WRAG's Zanetta Lowe was in the area as well this afternoon. And Zanetta, are you there? Can you hear us, Zanetta?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm live here at Kroger in Collierville off Byhalia and Poplar, where we are on the scene of what was described as an active shooter situation. I want you to take a look behind me. This is a massive scene out here. You can see right now, Collierville Police has set up a command post, and Chief Lane just told me a few minutes ago to expect a media briefing sometime soon. They don't know exactly when, but they are all gathered here in the far part of this parking lot. So the media's been pushed way back. We're basically the new line back here is right at Poplar. So it may be a little difficult to see, but just describing for you what's going on right now. There are dozens of ambulances on the scene, multiple agencies, Collierville, Germantown, Shelby County Sheriff's Office, Memphis PD. Earlier, there were choppers in the air. One of them was Hospital Wing. We saw a number of ambulances earlier going in and out of the parking lot. I can't tell you if anyone was being transported. We did see employees earlier speaking directly with police right in this area, actually a little bit further up, closer to the store. We saw people gathering. One woman who actually fell to her knees as she was being embraced by another employee. We couldn't, of course, hear what they were saying to police. Another woman came out, talked to a person who may or may not be an official with Kroger. I saw Chief Lane talking to this man as well. He embraced an employee. She began describing something to him, giving him a story. We couldn't hear what it was. I was showing that on Facebook Live. Again, a very large scene out here. We don't have a whole lot of details on the scene about what the current situation is. So I can't tell you if someone is in custody, how many people are involved, what that number looks like. I'm also following details from other businesses and parents in the area. The Collierville schools were all on lockdown as a precaution. I saw a number of business owners. In fact, some are out right now. I'm looking across the street at the parking lot that has Little Caesars and Subway, and I'll get Claudia, our photographer, to turn around. People are gathered outside just trying to figure out what's going on because they could all hear what was happening earlier today. In fact, I'm counting about 3 ambulances over in that parking lot across the street. That's the same plaza that holds Target and Academy Sports. So again, a massive scene here. We're waiting to get more details from Collierville Police. Their running point on this, they've set up their command post right here behind me. In fact, that's Chief Lane right there talking with someone from the Shelby County Sheriff's Office, as well as a number of other law enforcement agents trying to gather details. We're trying to do the same to get information to you all as quickly. I know one of the things people wanted to know, I was getting texts and messages from parents around the area just wondering what was going on, if their kids are safe. Again, schools were on lockdown. I haven't had a chance to check to see if that has been lifted. That was precautionary. I got some messages from business owners just trying to figure out what was going on. Many of them, one of them told me, I'm inside, I'm safe, the doors are locked. We haven't been able to talk to any employees who were inside just yet, but we're going to be doing that here momentarily to try to get a better sense of what was happening. I'm going to send it back to you guys in the studio. I can't hear you right now, so I'm going to send it back to you, and you just let me know what you want to do next. Reporting live in Collierville, Zanetta Lowe, WREG News Channel 3.
Okay, thank you, Zanetta, for that information. Zanetta in the area, and she was taking pictures of the helicopters that were hovering over the Kroger store, as well as an ambulance that left the scene. And we are hearing from Stacey Jacobson, WREG Stacey Jacobson, that there are helicopters now coming to Regional 1 and she has seen some of those, and she's been told that we have to stand by because the helicopters are coming to Regional 1. We're assuming they're coming from Collierville in the Kroger store, and we're also hearing that some ambulances are headed that way. We saw one pull in, and more are maybe headed that way. But again, this is the ambulance coming in, one of those ambulances coming in from Kroger and Collierville to the Med, and we're told maybe a couple of more on the way. And Stacy Jacobson, WRAG Stacy Jacobson, says the helicopters are coming as well. Again, we don't know, as Zanetta said, how many people were injured in this. We have confirmed there was an active shooter in the Kroger store in Collierville. This is at New Byhalia Road and Poplar Avenue. We don't know the extent of injuries at this time. We are expecting, as Zanetta also said, that the Collierville Police Department will be making a media briefing, and they will provide us more information about what happened, how many injuries, what happened with the active shooter. And it may take a while for them to get the details of what caused this, what was behind this, what propelled this. But they're expected to meet with us. We do see a lot of police officers standing around getting information. We are hearing, as Zanetta said as well, several agencies are on this. So as you can imagine, this is happening in Collierville, but there is the Shelby County Sheriff's Department, Germantown Police Department, the Memphis Police Department, all working together. You see the firefighters, they're the rescuers as well, and as ambulance workers. And she also said that employees are speaking with police. There had to have been employees and customers in the store when all of this happened, and that some people came out and they just fell to their knees and embraced, apparently happy that they're okay. We don't know the extent of people's co-workers as well as just shoppers who were going to do their shopping at Kroger this afternoon shortly before 1 o'clock, and no one could have expected something like this would happen. But again, it did, and we're going to work to find out as much as we can about what happened and why it happened. At the New Byhalia Road and Poplar Avenue in Collierville, that intersection there, you see it's very, very busy. A lot of stores around, a lot of businesses around, and some of those businesses put their employees on lockdown, telling them not to move, to stay in the building, not to go out, because I can imagine no one was sure exactly what was going on, and if that active shooter was going to do any further damage. We know that he was inside the Kroger store and opened fire, he or she. At this time, we don't know. But we will be getting more of that information. Zanetta at Kroger, Stacy at the Regional 1, where the ambulances are coming in. We also have Luke Jones at the Kroger store. But again, this is shocking for us as it is for you. You go do your shopping in the afternoon, you don't expect gunfire in the middle of the store when you're going to do shopping. So you can only imagine if innocent people were caught in this, in the crossfire, workers doing their job, people just shopping for the afternoon. We're not sure exactly who may have been hit by gunfire, but we are hearing that there may be several injuries as a result of this, as we try to get more information about exactly what happened. And that will be coming from police, and at some point we do expect that Kroger will put out a statement as well. They have public information officers who I'm sure have been busy trying to gather information. And if you're at home and you know someone who works at this Kroger, or you know someone who lives near there and usually shops at this Kroger, you may be full of questions, and we hope to have some answers for you, but it's probably not a good idea to try to head to the store at this point. They have everything roped off, as you can see, crime scene tape there, keeping people back as they try to do their job to figure out what happened, get help to those that are inside, since we don't know the extent of injuries, and if this individual may have had some help, or if this individual acted alone. and trying to find out more about who this person is. So there will be a lot of activity at this Kroger store at New Byhalia and Poplar Avenue for the next several hours, we can expect, probably, as this investigation continues, and we try to piece together all of the information to bring to you. But again, 1 p.m., shortly before 1 p.m., someone walked into the Kroger store and gunfire erupted, and several people may have been injured in that gunfire. We don't know what happened with the shooter, if he or she, if they are still alive, and what prompted this. But we will be getting more of that information. And there you have undercover police officers as well as uniformed police officers on the scene. And the police chief, Chief Lane, has said that for us to stand by, that he will be providing more information as they're able to put together the pieces of all of this. And of course, they want to make sure they have all of their information correct and as much as possible as they try to do their job. But what we want to do is to keep you informed here at WREG and let you know what is going on in the neighborhood where you live. And some of you may actually shop at this Kroger or have been to this Kroger or live in Collierville. And you are probably just as surprised as we are to have heard this come over our radio scanners this afternoon that something was happening at Collierville, an active shooter shortly before 1 o'clock at the Collierville Kroger store at New Byhalia Road and Poplar Avenue. And the person opened fire. We don't know the extent of what is going on with that person, whether that person is still alive, whether that person is in custody. We do believe that person is in custody, but we don't know if that person is alive and how many people were injured. We have not heard how many rounds of gunfire went off inside the store, how many people may have been hit by that gunfire, but if you were shopping at Kroger, you can imagine you began hearing gunfire, how frightening and unexpected that is. And that's no doubt what these people who were shopping today and people who were just going about their jobs working at Kroger probably felt when they heard that gunfire go off inside the Kroger store. So hopefully we will be able to update you and get you more information. We do know that Stacy Jacobson is standing by at Regional 1, the medical center. And Stacy, we saw an ambulance come in just a few moments ago. What is the situation there now?
Well, April, you can really just feel the emotions around Regional 1 right now are very serious, from law enforcement to people just standing around watching as these ambulances are coming in. I'm going to step out and just show you what we can see. You can see a couple of ambulances right there with their lights going on, and then we have a few more lined up all down Jefferson. So far, we've seen about 7 ambulances come in, and as you alluded to, we don't know the conditions or the situations of the people coming in, but again, we can just feel the seriousness in the air. We've also been told some helicopters are going to be landing, so we're going to continue to stay out here and monitor and bring you up to date with all the latest as it happens.
Okay, Stacy, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, we did see an ambulance come in earlier. We were assuming that that ambulance may have been coming from Collierville. Did you see them take anyone out of the ambulance? I know they have it in a bay kind of, so sometimes it gets behind this wall, and I don't know where you are in your purview right now, but were you able to see them take anybody out of the ambulance?
We saw a couple people taken out of ambulances. Ramon, if we can just shift right over here and just show these two that are parked in the driveway. We saw a couple of people taken out. I did hear the medics talk about the blood pressure reading for one of those patients. And we have several agencies that are lined up here. We have Germantown, I saw Shelby County ambulance, as well as the Ruro Metro ambulance. And I have not seen a Collierville ambulance yet, but we have seen all of those other agencies and also a Memphis Fire Department ambulance. So we have seen a couple of people taken out, and we're just watching to see what continues to unfold.
And we do see some people standing around there. I don't know if they are Regional 1 workers. We do see, are those police officers as well that are there?
Yeah, there's officers here from multiple agencies, as well as there's 3 security officers that we can see right here. There's also this ambulance that's backing up. We did have an officer come up to us and tell us that some helicopters would be landing soon. They said no vehicles are allowed to be moved anymore now that the helicopters are going to be coming in. So it seems like there are officers out here from multiple agencies, and I'm looking right now. And medics from multiple agencies as well.
And we did see that helicopter hovering above the Med earlier. I continue to call it the Med out of habit, but it is Regional 1. We did see the helicopter hovering above earlier, and they also said that more helicopters would be coming. And Stephanie joins us now. And Stephanie, you know, a lot of times when these happen, that's the first place people go to, the Med.
That's right, and that's our trauma center, and that's where the people who are prepared to take care of, you know, the worst tragedies in this community, they're prepared to take care of those kind of cases. And April, I'm just joining you here on the set, and because I work the evening shift, and so this is during my drive in to work time. And as I was driving in, I could see like the interstate was filled with at least 6 or 7 MPD cars that were blazing past me with their lights and sirens going. I also saw a couple of ambulances and also what looked like fire department administrative officer, because he was in an SUV with also their lights and sirens on. So this is a massive undertaking in that community right now, and this is a case in which they call upon, as you know, mutual aid, because as we said, the FBI, the Collierville, and probably other municipalities besides Memphis Police and Shelby County Sheriff's Office are also responding at this time.
Yeah, and that's what Zanetta said earlier. She is on the scene. She said Germantown Police there, as well as the Memphis Police Department, because it's going to take a lot to try to figure out what happened. This happened in the middle of the afternoon. People shopping, people working at the Kroger store, and something happened. An individual went into the Kroger store and gunshots were fired. So there's a lot to sift out from this. The main thing, though, is getting those people that may have been injured, getting them the help they need.
Yes, and that's why you have so many ambulances out there responding. We're looking live now at what's going on there in the parking lot. And April, I know you've been out to that area many times before. Poplar and Byhalia this time of day, especially the grocery store, it's really busy. It's busy with a lot of mothers and people who are not working at this time of day, running their errands, doing things right before they do school pickup. So this is not, even though we're talking 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the daytime, it's still a very, very busy time for that area.
And it's a lot of businesses in this area too, a lot of surrounding businesses, and a lot of people run over to the Kroger during their lunch break or make a stop at Kroger. And we were also hearing that some of those businesses told their people to stay put. You know, a lot of them may have gone in lockdown and told their people to stay put until they could figure out exactly what was going on. And Zanetta Lowe, you saw her there. She says she is hearing that at least one school was told the same thing. School is in session and told to just be on lockdown and not do anything, not let anybody come in or out until they figured out exactly what was going on.
So we have crews all over the city covering this story. We have them, of course, in Collierville, where this happened, at Byhalia and New Byhalia Road and Poplar, and also we have crews at the Regional 1 Medical Center, which is where those who have been injured will be taken.
WRAG's Zanetta, Chief Lane may be speaking with the media shortly.
Yeah. Hey, April and Stephanie. So we just got word that Collierville Police Chief Lane, they're going to be talking with us at 10 minutes after 3. So we're hoping to have a lot more details in just a few minutes. Again, Collierville Police letting us know just a few moments ago, walking up to us, saying they're going to be having a press briefing right behind us here at 10 minutes after 3. I want to step out of the way, show you what's going on now. I hate to use the word calmer. The scene has gotten a little quieter, but it is still massive. Agencies from the ATF to every local police department and sheriff's office in the area all on the scene. gathering details. In fact, there's a large number of people. I don't know where they're walking. Claudia, if you can pan over to that, there's a big group. They were all closer to the front of the store. We have been pushed to the very, very back, and they are all now walking to a particular area. Again, we're just trying to, this is all live as it's happening. I'm watching people across the street still standing outside of their place of business, just watching to see what's going on. I'm looking at a woman right now, an employee, being consoled by another individual, because as people drive up, trying to get to work, trying to figure out what's happening, they're hearing the very same news that we have been hearing and we've brought to you. Again, we're waiting for more details and should get some information sooner. I know Stephanie and April mentioned that those that were injured being transported, you can see an ambulance right there. It doesn't look like anybody's in the back of that, but we have seen a few of those now leaving the scene, another one leaving the scene. We saw some officials in, not suits, but ties and coats, and folks that were speaking with one another that were gathered much closer to the store. Don't want to make assumptions, but some of those folks may have been Kroger corporate, or at least connected to the store in some way, because we saw people speaking directly with employees. I've heard from folks in this area, from people who own businesses to parents concerned about what's happening. Earlier, the school was on lockdown. All of the schools, as a precautionary measure in this area, were on lockdown. I talked to someone who said they had a relative, they happened to be on their way to work, did not come. Certainly a very emotional time for anyone who was inside that store, anyone working in the store, and the people who initially responded. I believe it was Stephanie who mentioned being on the interstate headed this way. The very first car that I saw was an unmarked car, and it went so fast, barreling by everyone on the interstate. I didn't know what was going on. In fact, I even wondered, is this a legitimate law enforcement vehicle? Followed then by 7 other ones going at speeds that I had not seen in a very long time. Not the kind of stuff you see going to an accident scene, so you knew it was something much bigger than that. Of course, this is what it all led up to, an active shooter situation here at Kroger in Collierville at the intersection of Kroger and Byhalia. A lot of folks still on the scene here, a number of ambulances. Some of those are leaving right now. And that group of law enforcement agents still gathered under that tree right now. We don't really know what's going on in that area. We'll, of course, try to get some more details in just a moment, but Claudia's panning over. They walked over there just a moment ago as we started this live shot, and it looks like they're gathered and having some sort of conversation. We've been keeping our eye on Chief Dale Lane. He's over here by the Collierville Mobile Command Center, talking to a gentleman in a white shirt that we also noticed was the same person who was speaking with one of the employees. Don't know if that person is connected to Kroger, but he and someone standing beside him have been in lengthy conversation with Collierville police, and in particular Chief Lane, throughout the time that we've been out here. I've been on the scene for over an hour, and I've seen that person speaking with the chief and other law enforcement officials multiple times. We're going to try to gather some more details for you here. I want to show you, if we can, slowly this street, what's kind of happening in surrounding areas, because this is a very busy commercial area. You have Target, you have Academy Sports, you have several restaurants. Right now, it looks like this part of Byhalia, which north of Poplar, is all blocked off. So I'm looking at the intersection headed in the other direction, right at Poplar and Byhalia, and you can see that traffic is being directed. Claudia is actually panning in that area. So people can't get in this direction. So if you are getting off the interstate, maybe on 385, trying to get down Byhalia, once you get to the intersection of Poplar and Byhalia, you will be turned around. It looks like those cars are being rerouted to the other side. They're being rerouted west, I believe that is, on Poplar. So this part of the street shut down. People gathered in the parking lots just trying to figure out what's going on. Again, we are at 2:57 p.m. We've been on the scene for well over an hour out here trying trying to gather as many details as we possibly can, and we will hopefully have a much better update for you when we get that media briefing from Collierville Police at 10 after 3. So Stephanie, April, I don't know if you guys have any questions. I'm still having just a tad bit of trouble with audio, but I'm going to send it back to you.
All right, thank you, Zanetta. Again, Zanetta on the scene there saying that we will hear from Chief Dale Lang from the Collierville Police Department at about 3:10 this afternoon. She's painting a picture of still a very active scene, but as she said, somewhat calmer than it was when she first arrived a little bit over an hour ago. Lots of questions remain. Who exactly is injured? How many people are injured? The extent of their conditions, and of course, what precipitated this. And we have crews, as we said, all over covering this story from various angles this afternoon. And our Stacey Jacobson is also covering this story. She is at Regional Medical Center. And Stacey, you were giving us an update on what you had seen in that Bay Area a little while ago with those ambulances. Can you update us if you have seen anything else or what else you know about what's going on inside Regional Medical Center?
Yeah, Stephanie, well, you heard Zanetta talk about how things are getting a little bit calmer out there in Collierville, and I would say the exact opposite is happening here at Regional 1. You can really feel the energy shifting. We're seeing a lot more law enforcement, a lot more medical officials, and a lot more ambulances come out here, drop off patients, and stage here on Jefferson. Just looking here right now, we can see Shelby County Fire, we can see Memphis Fire Department, we have Rural Metro Ambulance, and we have Germantown Fire Department. We just saw a couple more patients get unloaded from an ambulance in the loading dock here at Regional 1. And I don't know if we can go back over and just show how we have some, and we've had several officials just waiting here on Jefferson. A few minutes ago, there were a few other doctors wearing medical gowns and of course their masks. And they seem to all be waiting for more patients to be coming in here, but there's definitely an air of seriousness and anticipation for more people that could be coming in. And you can just tell, you see two women hugging that are going in there, perhaps related to some of the patients. And I've also seen some what appear to me to be hospital management staff, administrative staff, people standing outside the hospital wearing more professional clothing. And so you really get the sense that this is an all hands on deck situation for the hospital. I'm not sure what's happening. It looks like there's a little bit of this woman probably trying to get some information, maybe about some family members. And then behind her there, you see an ambulance with its lights on, with a stretcher out, almost like they're waiting for a patient. We do know we're hearing some helicopters overhead. We know that we were warned that there would be some helicopters landing. We are not allowed to move our vehicles. This area in front of Jefferson is totally closed off to all vehicles. And so I think we're waiting to hear what the Collierville chief has to say in a few minutes there to find out what the seriousness of these patients who have been brought in here, what that really entails. April, Stephanie.
And Stacey, you mentioned that family members probably arriving, and we think of that. We talk about the ambulances coming and bringing the patients there, and the helicopters landing there, but also loved ones of these individuals will probably be heading there as well, and you may get a lot of emotion as they try to get close and be able to get in and to just find out from the doctors exactly what is going on. I don't know if we will be able to get that briefing from someone there at the Med, or maybe some of those local officials that are there from the different departments. But like you said, this is multi-agency, so we have a lot of different agencies that are kind of descending on the Med as well, right?
Yeah, as I mentioned, I see Memphis Fire Department, Rural Metro Ambulance, Germantown, Shelby County Fire. I know I've seen Memphis police officers here. It's hard to tell what law enforcement otherwise might be here other than Memphis Police, because I can see the Memphis Police cars, but definitely ambulances from many different agencies.
And Stacy, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
This is happening at a time when hospitals are already stressed with COVID-19 patients. I know some of the hospitals were limiting access to the hospital from various family members who would be visiting. So I imagine that a lot of people who would like to get in to see if they have a loved one who maybe has been brought there or to find out more about their conditions would not maybe not be able to get inside the hospital to actually find that out. Do you see any what looks like hospital personnel gathered out talking to what appears to be family at this time?
I'm not sure if you could see a few minutes ago when I alluded to there was a woman outside looking distressed and she was talking to hospital personnel. There are a few other, I've seen some physicians that are wearing full gowns, and then I've seen some administrative looking staff wearing suits and business clothing that have been out here too. But other than that one woman that we just saw in the beginning of this, I haven't seen them talking to any family members that look distressed. But I also want to say, Stephanie, what you just said is the first thing I thought of when we were unfortunately sent out here to cover this, is that when hospitals reached high capacity a few weeks ago, this was part of the letter that a lot of the hospital chiefs sent to local officials begging them to reinstate an indoor mask mandate, because they said, we're so stretched thin right now, we couldn't handle any kind of mass casualty event. Now, we don't know yet the details of what this happened, but that certainly has to play into the scariness of what could be going on in the hospital.
How many people may have been affected, how many people were brought there for treatment and that kind of things, and the extent of their injuries, if there are, of course, injuries. And at this point, because we do see a number of ambulances there, we assume that there may be quite a few injuries at this time, just don't know how many and the extent.
Okay, thank you, Stacy, so much. We're going to stand by and come back to you as we get more information. We are about 6 minutes out from when the chief of police for Collierville Police Chief Dale Lane said that he would give us an update, a media briefing at 3:10. WREG's Zanetta Lowe is there, and I assume that they are moving closer to that time and they can at least give us some more details, Zanetta.
That's right, April, about 5 minutes away from that. But there's something else that's just happening that I want to show you. Take a look behind me. These are all of the employees who we had not seen in well over an hour. I arrived here very early on at the scene as police were gathering, and some of those employees were walking out. They have since either been near or outside or somewhere else, that mobile unit, talking with law enforcement authorities, or somewhere else where we could not see them. They all just walked out in one single file line. They are now gathered together, some of them holding hands, some of them embracing one another. It looks like several of them are talking. One person is talking to them. There are bottles of water that are out there that they can have. This has been a lot for them. Again, we don't have a whole lot of details, but I just wanted to show you that picture because we had not seen them in a very long time, and they all walked out together.
5 minutes, we're going to do a pressing right here.
Okay, and I'm sorry, you're probably hearing that behind me. We just got the 5-minute warning from Collierville Police letting us know that we can get set up and get ready to go. But just a powerful image there of all of those employees gathered together that we had not seen in well over an hour. Again, many of them holding hands. So many of them still have on those Kroger shirts, uniforms, the aprons, many of them masks, just standing next to one another, supporting each other. And we're going to get some more details here in just a minute about everything that happened. Hopefully more details about what happened inside. We have a number of crews here on the scene, so we are setting up for that press conference that's about to happen, but we wanted to be able to just show you that image because this is something that's happening right now. These are the people that work at this Kroger. They are on the inside. It looks like many of them are searching for family members, loved ones, cars. They have been impacted by this. So we wanted to bring that to you as quickly as we could. April, Stephanie, I'm going to cut away so we can also join our other colleagues at this press conference. Can you hear me?
Yes. Thank you, Zanetta. Yes, we'll get ready to take that press conference in about 3 minutes now, but we just want to kind of update everybody on where we are. All of this happening just before 1 o'clock this afternoon. Calls came into our newsroom. We heard it over our scanners that there was an active shooter at the Kroger at New Byhalia Road and Poplar Avenue.
And from there, it was all hands on deck, not only from the Collierville first responders, but also from area first responders from the Memphis Police Department, along with the Shelby County Sheriff's Office on their way into work. And as Zanetta was saying, on her drive home from work, she noticed the interstate blazing with first responders with lights and sirens going on their way to that Kroger scene. And some of the area businesses and schools in that area, as has been reported, they went into a lockdown mode because they didn't know exactly what to expect. But again, we are expecting to find out more information in just a few minutes when Chief Dale Lane of the Collierville Police Department is scheduled to come out and make a statement about the events of the day.
Yes, though there are things that we don't know, but we hope to be able to share with you when the police chief gives us an update. You see the ambulance leaving there. We know several people may have been injured. We don't know the extent of their injuries. We know several people have been taken to the Regional 1, formerly the MAD, and but we don't know the extent of their injuries. We also have not had it confirmed that the suspect is alive, or we don't know whether he's alive or has been killed. And but we understand that he may be in custody, and it may be a he, she, or we don't know if it's multiple people. Those are the types of things that we hope to get when the police department gives their briefing, coming up here now in just about a minute.
Yeah, and for those who are out and about or headed to that area, we want to tell you that you want to be aware of that area has been blocked off, and they are not allowing people, it looks like, to come into that area. So you might want to try and redirect your route this afternoon away from that area, because that is a pretty big scene still. As we said, it is a lot calmer maybe than it was a little bit after 1 when this happened, but it is still pretty massive and still very active. So you won't be able to get through that area if you're going for school pickup or if you're going to run errands in that area, because it is a very, very busy area. As we said, one of the busiest retail areas in Collierville. You've got your Academy Sports over there, your Target over there, your various restaurants, because a lot of people go to that area for lunch and then might dash into that Kroger to pick up something for later in the day, you know, so like so many of us might do. So you want to be aware of that. But we hope to find out, first of all, about the injured and about what precipitated this in just a few minutes. News conference is scheduled at 3:10, and we're right at 3:10 right now. So hopefully that will be getting started in just a few minutes.
That's right, and we will bring that to you as soon as they get settled. Again, there's going to be the police chief of Collierville, Chief Dale Lane, is going to give us an update. But as Zanetta said, and as many others have said, there are a lot of agencies involved in this one. Memphis Police, Germantown Police, Shelby County Sheriff's deputies, ATF, even when you're talking about gunfire inside of a business like this. A lot of questions about, you know, why this happened, what type of gun, who was injured and what brought this on. So there are a lot of things that have to be sifted out. So this investigation will probably take a while, but we hope to get just the basic information that they'll be able to share with us, because we know a lot of you have questions too. If you live in that area, even if you don't live in the area, or you shop in that area, and some of you may even have people, loved ones who work in that Kroger store as well.
In April, I am trying to remember in the Memphis area us having any active shooter situations that may have been on this scale, and I can't remember one right offhand. Now, I know if you think back to Jonesboro, Arkansas, years and years ago, there was a situation at a school, but we have not had any in recent times on this scale here in the Memphis area, and God forbid we have any others. And we hope, again, that to find out exactly what happened in just a few minutes from Zanetta Lowe out at the Kroger when she speaks with Chief Dale Lane of the police department.
Yeah, a lot of questions for the police on this one, and of course they want to give us the information, but they have an active scene going on there. So even though this, they may have everything under control, they still have to get all of their information and keep the evidence and not contaminate evidence. That's why they're blocking off that area so people can't come and go. And because the first thing you want to do, especially if you have someone there, I'm going to go see what's going on. Let me go try to go over there. And it's probably not the best thing to do. Now you won't be able even to get close, and we have to let them do their work.
Yeah, and I don't know if we can bring up those pictures of when Zanetta showed us the employees that had gathered together. You just. Okay, I'm hearing now that we don't have it to play back to you, but Janetta just showed us just a few minutes ago the Kroger employees who had just gathered together. You can just imagine the trauma that they may be experiencing at this point of having been through and lived through an active shooter situation. That's not something that you can just easily walk away from. There you go. You can see. Oh, this is live right here. So they're still gathered together. So, they have each other right now to lean on, but you can imagine that they want to get home to hug their loved ones, their children and their spouses, significant others, because they've been through a lot today. They just came to work like all of us just to get a job done, and then had to endure this. All right, so we're about to go to Chief Lane. He's about to speak right now with the Collierville Police Department. We'll take you back out live to the scene.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Dale Lane. I'm the Chief of Police, Collierville. It breaks my heart to have to stand before you today because we've had an incident here in Collierville that has been occurring all over the country. Today, at 1:30 hours or 1:30 p.m., our dispatch received a call of an active shooter occurring at the Kroger behind us. At 1:34, the first car arrived on the scene. Immediately, our cars began to flood the area to secure the scene. As we entered the building, there were multiple people shot. Our SWAT team, along with patrol officers and our command staff members, began the process of going aisle to aisle, room to room, clearing, bringing employees out that were in hiding, and helping the victims that were injured. At this time, we still have a couple of active scenes that we are working. The suspected shooter's vehicle is in the parking lot, and we are waiting on some additional equipment to get here to be able to safely check that vehicle, as well as some property that's on him. At this time, the shooter is deceased. We believe that's going to be from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. We have 13 victims. Our hearts go out to those that were injured. We do have one fatality, and our thoughts and prayers are with those family members. We had, like I said, we had 13 victims that we know of at this time. Now, please bear with me and know that this situation is probably going to change, and we'll do another update, another briefing, probably in 3 hours, somewhere in that range, and we'll update you. But we know that we've had 12 victims that were transported from this scene, and we also know that we've had at least one additional walk up to local hospitals. Today I have Assistant Chief Jeff Ablin with me, our Fire Chief at Collierville, Chief Billings, his Assistant Chief King, Assistant Special Agent in Charge Jeremy Baker with the FBI. We have Colonel Smith with MPD, Chief Inspector Derek Mills with Shelby County. And I can't say enough about the cooperation and the help. And as bad as this scene is, and it's horrific. I've been involved in this for 34 years, and I've never seen anything like it. But our teams came together and worked together. That's not just the law enforcement agencies, but the fire. Sometimes there's a delay. There was no delay with our firemen coming into that scene with us. We just trained on this back 2 months ago at Collierville High School. So it is, it's like I said, it's with a broken heart that I have to stand here before you today. So please keep the families in your prayers. Keep the folks from this Kroger. We have a representative from Kroger here as well. I'm not sure if they're going to give a statement at this point, but everything is preliminary. So with that, I'll open it up for just a couple of real quick questions.
Is the black SUV that's over here
One at a time.
Were there two shooters or only one?
At this point in the investigation, it appears to be one shooter.
And the deceased person, was that the shooter or was that the victim?
Both. We have one victim and then one shooter that's DOA at this point.
And so just to clarify, 13 people shot and of those 12 injured and 1 dead, correct?
Right.
Not counting the shooter.
At this point. Now remember, we're still receiving information that's coming in from other parts. Even we've got some reports there may have been some walk-ups in Fayette County with Fayette County Ambulance Service. So we're trying to confirm that information now. But this, like I said, this was a joint effort. We had Chief Billings can speak more to the number of ambulances and where they come from, but every city around came and supported. The sheriff right now, that crime scene is huge, and it's being worked by the FBI's evidence response team. TBI's got agents en route. The Collierville Police Department Detective Division, our Criminal Investigative Division is in there, and the Sheriff's Office. So it's going to take a little bit to know exactly what happened.
Chief, was the shooter an employee or do you know yet?
That's part of the ongoing investigation. That's something that we don't need to
black
talk about.
SUV connected to the shooter?
It's all still under investigation.
Were there any children